In your game making journey, you're going to have to go to roblox.com/create, and you're going to be brought to this page. After that, click this big Start Creating button, and it's going to check to see if you have Roblox Studio. If not, it'll ask you to download Studio. Go ahead and click this button, and then move on. Once you've downloaded Roblox Studio, you can go ahead and double tap the app to open it up. And now you should actually be inside of Roblox Studio. I'm going to be showing you some of these windows right now. So the first one is the new window. This will create new games for you. So you can go ahead and click new, and that'll show you all the different templates you can use to create your games. The next one is going to be My Games. This tab holds all your current games that you have made. So once you've already made a game, you can check in here to see where those games are. Recent shows you the most recent games you've been working on. After that, there's Archive and Tour, but we're not going to touch on those. So go ahead and go to the New tab and click this Baseplate button. That's going to give you a brand new game with a Roblox baseplate. First thing we're going to do is learn how to move around and navigate through this 3D space. You can use W, A, S, and D on your keyboard to move around just like you can in a Roblox game. Next, you can hold right-click and move your mouse around, and that'll pan your camera. So go ahead and hold right-click and move your camera, and you can figure out how this camera system works. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you figure it out, it's easy peasy. Next, you can move around your mouse and hover over different objects in your game, and you can left-click to select them. For example, I just selected the spawn location. If for whatever reason that's not working, head up here to the select button, click that first, and then you can select tools or objects in your game. Okay, the next thing we're going to learn is how to navigate the different tabs. Right now we are in the Home tab, and you can see that up here at the top of my screen. It says Home. This has a ton of different buttons. We're only going to get into a few of them. But first, let's do Move, Scale, Select, and Rotate. If you select a part, you are using the Select tool right here. Now, if you switch over to the Move tool, you can actually move parts in your 3D world. So as you can see, there are 3 different axes that we can move it on. There's the X, the Y, and the Z. So we can use these arrows to drag around our objects in different dimensions, in the 3-dimensional world. And you can drag it all around and around and around. Okay, next is the Scale button. You can click that and then click a part, and you're going to see very similar things, but instead of arrows, it's just dots or circles. If you drag one of those, you can see it moves, or it resizes it along that axis. So we can go ahead and resize it this way, we can resize it this way. Okay, and last but not least, we have Rotate. If you click the Rotate button and you click something, you can rotate your parts, and you can rotate them whichever way you would like. There are, again, 3 ways because this is 3 dimensions. Okay, what if you want to undo all that, though? Glad you asked. You can go ahead and hit Control or Command if you're on a Mac, and Z. So you can do that as many times as you need, and that will undo what you've done. As you can see, I've just clicked Control Z a ton of times, and now my spawn location is back to where it started. If you want to redo something, you can either click this arrow right here, or you can click Control Shift Z, and that'll redo what you just did. But I'm going to hit Control Z again, because I want my spawn location to stay right here. Next, there's the toolbox. If you click this, it'll open up with the toolbox window right here. These are all different free models that people and Roblox have provided for you to use in your games. Be careful though, a lot of them have hacks that will ruin your game, so really be careful with what you choose in the toolbox. Next, we can insert parts. If you click this part right here, you'll see a new part has been added to our game, and we can move this around and around and around. We can also add, if you click this little triangle under the part, you can choose a different part to add. For example, if I want a sphere, there we go, I have a sphere. Now, we can also go ahead and head over to this color right here. If we click this, maybe we want to make the sphere red. So we can click the sphere, click this color, and change the color to red, just by clicking the right color from here. Now, you'll notice if I click it now, it's not going to do anything, and that's because I don't have the sphere selected. Once I click the sphere, then I can change the color. Okay, after that, let's go ahead and delete these by clicking them and clicking backspace or delete. That will go ahead and delete the parts in your game. The next thing, what if you get a part lost in your game? So you can actually go ahead and insert another part, and let's say it's way over here and you want to go over to that without having to scroll all the way, or use WASD. That's another thing, you can scroll to move faster. If you scroll in, you can move closer, and if you scroll out, you can move further away. But let's say that you're all the way over here and you want to just quickly go over there. Well, you can select it by dragging, like a box, over the part you want to go to, and click F, and that'll focus your camera onto the part that you just selected. Okay, so now that we have all that down, I'm going to select this part and go ahead and hit backspace again. Okay, another thing that you should know as we are getting into this is how to open other windows such as the Explorer and Properties. So if you go ahead and hit View right here, At the top, you can go ahead and click Explorer and Properties. Make sure that these two windows are open. You should see Explorer and Properties. And then let's just quickly go ahead and show you what this does. You can select a part, and you can find it in the Explorer. So if you open up the workspace, and you look in here, you should have something called part. You can click that part in the Explorer, and you can see now it's selected in the game. You can rename that part by clicking the name, and maybe we'll call this cube. And there we go. Now we have a part called cube inside of our game. Now if we want to change any of the properties, we can scroll down to the Properties tab. So if you click the part, either in the Explorer or in your game, you can mess with all of these properties. You can change the color this way, you can change the transparency and all that. There's a lot you can do with this, but I'm just not going to get into that right yet because we're going to talk about that more once we start making the game. Okay, we are going to go ahead and now, as I've said that, start making our game, because that's what you guys came here for. So, let's go ahead, and now that you know how to move around Studio, let's go ahead and make an awesome obby. So, this is going to involve a little bit of scripting, a little bit of building, and a little bit of everything. So, let's just go ahead and get started, and I'm just going to walk you through step by step everything you need to know, and by the end of the game, or end of the video, you'll have made the game that I just showed you at the beginning. Okay. So, go ahead and select this base plate in the Explorer and delete it. So, if you missed that, make sure you go into the Explorer, find this part called base plate, click it, and click backspace. That'll delete your base plate. Now you can see we just have a spawn point, okay? I'm going to insert one of those cartoony outlines to our spawn location. So the way you do that is by selecting the spawn location, either in your game or in the Explorer tab. Then you can click this little plus icon right here, and you're going to search for a highlight. That's this object right here. You can go ahead and click that. Next thing to do is click that highlight, and I'm going to go ahead and change this fill transparency to 1. That way it doesn't make our spawn location a weird color. So right here in the properties, fill transparency, set that to 1, right here. And then you can change this outline color by clicking the color right here and changing it to a black. If you're on a Windows, it might look a little different. And then hit OK. And there you go. Now there's this cartoony outline to your spawn pad. As you can see, it's going all the way around. Perfect. So that's just a little touch to make it look a little bit fancier. Now let's go ahead and make stage 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a sphere into the game. And this sphere is going to be the first object for players to climb on. So I'm going to go ahead and redo that really quick so you guys can see everything I just did. Go ahead and come up here to the part. Click the drop down and click sphere. Now you have a sphere right here. You can click it and you can move it away from the spawn location. You can also go ahead and scale it, and you can recolor it if you want. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click Control D. That will duplicate this part. And as you can see, now we have 2 parts in our Explorer. Now we can click this move button, and let's just move it out like this. And there we go. Now we have a second sphere. We can recolor this one as well. And we're just going to make a little ball jump obby. Okay? So let's go ahead and do this again. Control D to duplicate it. Click the move tool and move it around. Then recolor it. Control D, move with the move tool, and recolor it. Control D, move with the move tool, and recolor it. Okay,